I thank Sukanya and her team for inviting me to give such a lecture today, like guest lecture. I mean, this is the first kind of experience I'm facing. And today I'll be telling you my journey till this moment as a woman flautist. I come from a music family. My mother and aunt, Sickle sisters, famous known as Sickle sisters, Sickle Neela and Kunjumani. Neela is my mother, Kunjumani is my aunt. Padma Shri awardees. And if you take their life, Kunjumani, she's no more right now, but she was of great inspiration to this family which we all belong to. Her maternal uncle, that is Peripa, father's brother. Whole family of musicians. So as a child, she used to mimic taking a stick and try to play like her uncle, but wouldn't know how to blow even. So my grandfather was highly inspired by her gesture, and so those days women were not allowed to come as a professional or even learn. Beyond a point of time, they were not supposed to come out of the house. So conservative was those time, you know. If she was alive, she'll be past 85, 86 today. So remember 86 years back, how the society would have been. So at that point of time, my grandfather took a bold decision by allowing her to learn and to fulfill her interest by sending her all the way through probably next village. They used to have, the mode of transport used to be Kattavandi, or sometimes even walk all the way for 40 minutes, 45 minutes to the next village. So learn, come back, that was the daily routine. So she was of a great pillar. Today women flautists are there means it's she who has set a performing standard, because before Kunjumani Amma, there were even so many other ladies, but they were not able to come and establish themselves as a performing artist. So it was because of Kunjumani Amma, my mother also started learning, and she used to nurture my mother by teaching her, and then she got married, then my mother took over. And then after a period of time, people said, why you play two solos separately, then you combine and play, and so that became, two solos became a duet. So like that, Sickle sisters became globetrotting, and they got numerous awards, and so their life was like that. So I came into existence in '63, and I was a very, very playful child, never used to listen to my mother, never do anything which they say. Everything was like beyond control. So how to put me into control was my mother's challenge. It all was possible because of one word: affection. She never used to force me into anything. She started teaching me the art of blowing, and even to keep the fingers, tender fingers. At the age of 5 I started, and it was an accident. Like, they had been to Nagarkoil, and Nagarkoil is the place where you get lots of bamboos and they manufacture flute there. So one of the flute maker rather, he was also a flautist. So he met my mother and aunt when they went for a program, and I used to be very small, so my grandmother used to escort my mother and aunt, and everywhere I used to be carried and like that. So they said, she's like 5 years old, I'll give you a small flute, why don't you try? And I said, no, I can't do it because I don't know how to do it. So my mother just took the flute because he gave like a gift. So she brought the flute, and it is just this much, that's it. And the holes are, even now this finger wouldn't go inside, that small was the hole. I still have it as a memorable this thing, because I started from that. So every day she used to make sure that I did at least 1 minute of exercise. just blow. Blowing took a long time. I said, no, I won't play now. Okay, don't play, you just keep it. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow you can play, like that. She used to encourage me, and very playfully she hooked me into this art, and now I cannot escape because it has become part of me now. So psychological dealing, the children psychologically plays a major part. So slowly the basic lessons, and then methodically she will not teach. If you take the beginners in music, you get the book called Ganamrita Bodhini. Just Sarali Varsai and then Janta Varsai, like that, there are so many chapters leading one from one exercise to the other. Those of you who know something about Carnatic music, you know the book contents everything. But then, I'm just telling you for people who are not aware of our system of music. So, she won't go from chapter 1 to chapter 2. Offhanded, she'll say some exercise, she'll make me try, and then just 5 minutes of lesson, or even 10 minutes of lesson per probably 2 days, once in 2 days, once in 3 days, like that. Such playful, and no attention was given and no seriousness, but still she made it a point that she trained me. Probably she took about a period of 10 years, maybe 15 years, maybe. So from my 15th year, some seriousness set in. That too to some extent, not 100%. I was more interested in crafts, drawing, doing some handwork, like summer holidays was a time where I can create lots of craft. She used to train me in handwriting. She never wants me to waste any time. That was her motive. At the same time, she ensured that she taught me something in music. And I used to keep hearing music which helps me, like if she did something, immediately I'll relate it to that. So that sort of hearing helped me lots rather than practical experience. So that way she and my Perima, both they lived together. That helped me, that atmosphere, the environment helped me nurture my music. And it was my 15th or 16th year, I don't remember, I had my Arangetram. Arangetram is the debut concert. So she had engaged the senior accompaniments who will provide me a lot of support. And again, she trained me just for like giving concerts. One Varnam, like the mini meal, when you go to a hotel, you have the mini meal, no? So like that, the pattern was, she trained me just for concerts. Her logic was, if you keep on learning, when will you be able to establish yourself? So I was trained only to give concerts. So one concert, two concerts, like that. The concert experience I gained was little more than the knowledge I gained. So those two parallel lines took, one became big, the other became big, like that. You know, so that learning process became serious, became more interesting. So like that I grew up. And my intercollegiate competitions really gave me one backing that I should do whatever I have to do. I have to learn, because I studied in Stella and they gave a lot of importance to music, and I had to represent my college. So that was the time when I had to sharpen my axe, because the need developed. So when there is a need, you start working more. So that was another thing which I learned. So I used to learn more kritis, at the same time perform wherever opportunities were given. But of course the quality might be less, not like now, because by experience we learned so many things. So competitions I used to win, get prizes for my college, and so on and so forth. Like I got a lots of inspiration from my teachers. And after college, we did what was called violin Venu Veena. In college itself, we did that. A violin, a veena, and a venu. Venu is what is flute. So violin was Lalgudi Jayaraman sir's daughter. Veena was his niece, and then myself on the flute. So ladies of equal age, the competition was more. I had to work more hard. So I learned so many things. See how small thing is just flowering and into a bush, into a tree like that, you know. So small exercise keeps on adding to you, and the only thing, the inner fire is, I shouldn't make any mistake. I always wanted to be perfect. Nobody should comment on my music. So these three were my goal, and is my goal too. The music which comes from me should inspire others and should calm their mind, and it is for that reason that I want to propagate music. So this was all about my early 20s, and my wedding was the climax, I should say. God given opportunity that I had entered MSM's family. My horoscope went this way, that way, finally settled in their house. And so they came forward to get me married into that family. And there is Mr. Chandrasekhar, who always supports me. And after my marriage, my career graph just went up. If it wouldn't have been my mother-in-law's support and father-in-law's support, I would not have been here. Whatever my mother tried to elevate me, just enhanced and got nurtured, all because of that family's contribution too. And I learned so many things from MS Amma. Very simple, very humble, always helping. These three nature contribute so much to what I am today. Your personality speaks so much on your music, and that's why your music elevates one's spiritual self, and that is transmitted to the audience, and that is what makes us all immerse in the music. So that I learned from her. When she just closes and sings, you don't see her as MS, you just feel the divine vibration through the whole area. So that is the key factor I learned from her. And the technicalities and the repertoire and the way you have to conduct yourself on the stage and the way you have to treat your artists, their payment, everything, all those small details I imbibed from my parents' side. So both sides kept me so balanced, and that is what I am here today. It is not so easy for a woman to come as a prime performer today, and being a flautist, it's not so easy. I have also faced a lot of challenges in life, and I have overcome. The word overcome, he sang, right? So much of hurdles, and still I'm able to establish what I am today is all because of my Guru's grace, God's grace, and my mother's blessings and all elders' blessings. Hard work, learn your lessons. It is like any other profession, like doctors, you keep updating your knowledge by learning. So update your knowledge, practice well, learn anything and everything you can, keep hearing to music. All these are the key words which we have to follow. And that's what I'm doing, and many people taking me as a role model. They have also come up as a women students who learn flute, and there are many ladies who are inspired to even, I have a lot of women students, girl students, because of looking at me, they say, "You're my inspiration," all those things. I get a lot of emails. So I tell them, you're no way inferior to male flutists. Technique is the same. So you practically try it out. And these are the key factors where you must take into yourself and practice it so that you can come in the top. So practice, listening, hard work, learning, all these things, you put everything. And then one more thing in life I learned is, don't expect any result for what you do. Just be patient. Whatever opportunity comes to you, you make use of it, you do your best. That will speak for you. Rather than you seeking after opportunities. This last 5 years, I've had lots of experience. You get disappointed for nothing because you don't get anything. You expect something and you don't get anything. So why expect? Instead, you take the flute, you practice at home, you play for God. Immediately there comes a call saying, "Are you free on this date? Why don't you come and perform for us?" So you dedicate your music to God. You dedicate whatever you do to God. And that will pay you back, is my conviction. Rather than giving your card to so many people and say that you're playing, you're doing that, you're doing this, but that doesn't give you anything. Maybe at that point you have a feeling that you have given so many people. But ultimately it is the music in you which manifests through you, which reaches the audience and which make them come to you for more opportunities. So you do your part well, others will take its course. That is my conviction, and that is what I tell all of you. Whatever you do for yourself. Be true to yourself. I've just had some time to write down a few sayings. Always stay true to yourself and never sacrifice who you are for anyone. I just got this saying, somebody has pasted in their Facebook wall. So immediately, it's like, it's for me. I want to do it. So I took it for myself and I'm sharing it with you. In life, you will realize there is a role for everyone. Role for everyone you meet. Some will test you, some will use you, some will love you, and some will teach you. But the ones who are truly important are the ones who bring out the best in you. So don't hate anybody, try to love everybody. Love all, serve all is another slogan which I loved most. Because you start liking a person, you will do only good things to everybody. Nothing will reflect on you. You be good to everybody, so everybody will be good to you. That's another factor which I am today. And then if you propose to speak, always ask yourself, is it true, is it necessary, is it kind? So all these small things which I get from anywhere, I try to practice it. So always your mind is calm. You don't need to be perturbed over any result. You don't have to expect anything from anybody. Whatever you are destined, you will get it. But the thing is, we forget to realize that we are the doers. Ultimately, we are not the doers. Some force which you are born for will guide you. So as that lady said, the natural healing technique, Reiki or meditation, everything will lead to single thing like analyze who you are and keep quiet. The inner force for which you are born will take over and make you what you are. So that is my conviction which I have gathered last 5 years after undergoing all these hurdles and turmoils and so many things. Everybody has got a bad patch in their life. So I too passed through a bad patch of my ill health, right from 23 to 34, 35. Multiple surgeries, multiple hospitalizations, just for the one reason that I was having endometriosis and no children. So what a horrible time I had, and that time my family members, my husband's support, and my music. If not for music, I wouldn't have been alive today. Severe pain, go to the concert, taking injections, go to the concert, perform, come back, lie down, next day hospital, blood transfusion. All these things were like a cyclic reaction, one after the other. But I never compromised on my music. I used to take keto nerve injection, go perform, come back, cry, lie down, like that. Always under hot water bag and hot whatever techniques and the infrared light, whatever was available that time to control my pain, I used to have. But never have I cancelled any concert unless it was my major surgery, which I had it in 98. I had to cancel about 4 or 5 concerts, which I felt very bad. In my whole life, I have never cancelled any concert. Performing concert is not just for money or fame. It's for the self-satisfaction. You enjoy music, you give music to others, make them also enjoy. So we forget everything at that particular point of time, and that is what music has given us. But whatever type of music it is, doesn't matter. But it is for that music I want to do my service, and that's why Sukanya ji has called me here. And now I think whatever I had inside, I just let it out from my heart. And I will be playing for you a small song on my favorite goddess Sharada, being Women's Day. Deity, Sharada deity, and the meaning I just love this meaning. It's actually written by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Lovely words, like Goddess it's on Goddess Sharada. Sharada, Goddess of knowledge. I salute all knowledge, the source of knowledge. Source of all blessing is she. Sharada, pristine, sattva incarnate, manifests in the heart of pure and simple, self-illuminating, conscious her nature. Sharada, whom knowledge ornaments, twofold knowledge, the mundane and the sublime. Sought by the wise, even gods, she confers the ultimate freedom, easy to approach. In instruments of music, of clean notes, she abides. So whenever, actually, the real music is the silence. When you adhere to Shruti and just be calm, I think everybody can experience that. You have the Shruti in the net, just download. Play the Shruti, just be calm, quiet, listening to it. 5 minutes you listen to it, you gather 10 minutes of energy.